Hello, hello. Good evening. Sorry, good afternoon. Hello. Good afternoon, Mr. Toby Oyinloye. Can you hear my voice so I can know live? Yes, I can hear you. Uh, how is the weekend going? Hello. Yes, I was asking how is the weekend going? That's great. I want to wait a bit for others before we commence. I can see Kofi Owusu just join us on Sunday. Okay, okay. Well, welcome to today's training. Let's wait a while for others to join before we commence. All right, let's get started today. But before we commence, I would like us to pray. Our Father, our dear God, we thank you for giving us the grace to convene today, this present moment. We pray that you help us to achieve the purpose of this training. I will pray that by the end of today's training, we'll have the focus to glorify your holy name. For in Jesus' mighty name, we have prayed. Amen. So let's dive straight in. Can everybody see my screen now? Hello. Thank you very much. Thank you for the feedback. So let's start. All right. So this week, which is week 2, we'll be looking at elements of design. We'll be looking at elements of design. Please, you can mute your mic so that we will be able to enjoy the training. Thank you very much, sir. So we'll be looking at week 2, elements of design. Next slide. Last week we talked about design as a medium of communication, and today we'll be exploring what design is made of, like what constitutes design, what are the elements that makes up a good design. Next slide. A quick recap from last week. I believe some of us that are present during last week training will remember these flyers, which we use as a good example of a good design. Yeah, an example of a bad design. Yeah. So design equals communication, good design equals clarity, and bad design equals confusion. So to paraphrase, the aim of every design is to basically communicate. Any design that is not communicating, no matter how beautiful it is, it's a missed, sorry, a minute. Yes, the class will be recorded for beloved. The class will be recorded. It's already recorded. Sorry, the class is being recorded. Yeah. So next slide. Now, every design. Sorry. Can someone omit the mic so that I will know that I'm not. I'm being heard on the call. Can you hear my voice like clearly? Thank you very much. Thank you for the feedback. So every design is made of elements, and as we can see in this design, the we have the text here in the design, which is enjoy the serenity, and we have the spacing element here, and the spacing is the gap between each design element. So in this case, the spacing is the gap between enjoy the serenity and this rectangle shape. That's the spacing. And we also have shapes here. In this case, the rectangle is the shape. And we also have the use of color here. Color here is the white color being used for this text, your perfect companion in the silent moment. And now I wrote a small piece here. If you can visualize the pieces, you can control the design. Meaning that if you can break down a design in your mind, or let's say on a rough sketch pad before you start designing, whatever case works for you, you can actually control the output of the design you will make. And now that AI is helping designers to speed up productivity and all, you can prompt the AI to give you a background and all of that, and you then develop it in the software of your choice, either CorelDRAW, Photoshop, or what have you. Let's go to the next slide. Now we have elements of design, elements of design, and there are a couple of them here: line, shape, color, texture, space, and form. And in the subsequent slides, I'll be breaking down these elements so that we can have a deep understanding of what they entail. Next slide. Now, line. What is a line? What is a line? A line connects point. Let me pause and ask a question. Let me pause and ask a question. Okay. Please, can we unmute our mic? Is any one of us familiar with this viral meme that trended a while ago on a straight line? Hello? Hello? Yes, so the line I'm saying here is not like that on a straight line, no. I just wanted to us to have a little bit of humor so that the class will not be too boring. Yeah, thank you, Samuel. You said yes, thank you. So let's continue. So what is a line? A line connects points, and there's a straight line here, which we are all familiar with. We are familiar with the straight line in this sense. And we also have the zigzag line. We also have the curved line. These are just some examples of lines that we have in design. These are not all the examples. These are just a few examples. And now, what purpose do lines serve in designs? Like, why do we have lines in design? Why, as a designer, why should you implement lines in your design or visual assets? Number one is lines guide eye across a poster, or in this case, lines guiding eye across a poster are seen here in the left. And in the second example is road leading into distance. Road leading into distance. Let me start with this. As you can see, I believe like uh seeing this poster here, it gives us like a kind of a feeling of movement, like motion. If you follow my arrow, like motion here, it guides our eye across a poster, and here it also creates like a kind of movement, guiding our eyes towards what the designer wants us to see. And on the right side, we are all familiar with this. There is all these lines that we have on the roads that demarcates the roads, or you know where to turn and you know what point you should turn. So these are examples of applications of lines in visual assets and real life examples. And we have shapes. What is shape? What is shape? Shapes are enclosed areas. Shapes are enclosed areas. Example here is a circle. We have a circle here. We have a square and a triangle. And we have types of shapes. Types of shape. These are just some of the examples that we have. And we have geometric and organic shapes. Geometric and organic shapes. And now, why do we have shapes in design? Wow, why should we implement shapes into our design or visual assets as a designer? Number one, circle. Circle here in this case gives a sense of unity in a design. It gives a feeling of unity when you use it in a design. It makes the elements uh, feel more grouped, like visually. Then we also have square. Square here can represent stability, and triangle here represents energy. The Freemasons and movement use these triangles a lot, and some of us are we are familiar with this popular law of Illuminati, where they say they use this triangle for their logos and all of that. I'm just diverting. That's a diversion, by the way. I don't know what's still in me. Am I still audible enough? So I will know I'm not talking into the void. Hello. Thank you very much. Thank you for the feedback. And now we have color. What is color? Color attracts attention and creates emotion. It serves the first purpose, which is to attract attention, and the second purpose is to create emotion. And now we have some basic structure of colors in design, which are the primary colors and secondary colors. The first one here is red, which means creates a sense of urgency. When you use red in a design, it creates a sense of urgency in the person viewing it. And I'm sure we all at one point or the other seen a flyer design or something that will have this order now button below it. That will be the order now. We have a background of red and there will be a white text on it with the text order now. And when you see it, it creates a kind of urgency, like the person creating the flyer wants you to make the order now. And we have blue, which represents trust, and yellow means energy, represents energy in this case. These colors also have diverse meanings based on culture, because some of these colors, their interpretation differ from culture to culture, but these are just generic interpretations that are like basically applicable. Then we have secondary colors. Secondary colors are mixture of two primary colors, e.g. green. Mixture of two primary colors, e.g. green, orange, and purple. And green here represents growth. When orange represents vibrancy, or we can also say it represents energy or creativity. And purple here is a symbol of royalty. The symbol of royalty, just like gold also represents royalty, symbol of royalty. And now we have what we call color contrast. We have what we call color contrast. And color contrast in simple term, it means the difference in brightness or color between elements in a design. So it basically means how a good contrast here in this case means enhanced readability, visual impact, and accessibility. In the sense that a good contrast in a design means the colors can easily be read. Let me just put it that way. It means the colors can easily be read and understood. Then a poor contrast, on the other hand, involves using similar tones or making elements difficult to read. Making elements difficult to read, meaning any design that has a poor contrast means that the color elements, the text and color elements cannot be easily read, and you can't easily understand. You have to strain your eyes before you can actually see it. And there is a visual example here. The first one is an example of a good contrast, which the good contrast text itself can easily be read. And the second option here is as an example of poor contrast, because except if not that we are seeing it from a really big screen, if this is to be printed, you will not easily see this poor contrast purple text on this screen. This is an example of a color contrast. Now we have strong and weak color usage. Now let me ask us a question. Uh, which of these which of these flyer do we think makes good use of color? I would like to have a few responses. Hello, hello. Please let's unmute our mic. Hello, hello. The first one. The first one. All right. Thank you for the feedback. The first one. Why are you picking the first one, sir? Because it's easy to view than the second one. All right. That's very, very correct. Thank you for the feedback, sir. Does anybody has a contrary opinion? Anybody trying to play devil's advocate here? Does anyone has a contrary opinion? Okay. Uh, let's proceed. Okay. So, like he said it's easy to read, and that is an example of it. Please let's mute our mic so that we can enjoy the training. Thank you very much. So the first one here is an the first one here is an example of a good contrast. The colors here can easily be read. The character here is Michael Jordan, and the image and everything just comes out well. Unlike this second one, which we can hardly see what is being written, but we can see play of well. The logos and everything is just out of place. So this is an example of a strong and weak color usage. And now we have something that we call texture in design. Texture. Texture is how something feels or looks like it feels. And let me bring this down to something we can easily relate with. An example of texture can be seen in the textile design clothes that we buy, like this Ankara. Uh, Let me use Ankara for example. This Ankara that we buy, you will see that some of them have some nice patterns on them. Yeah, I'm just stuck at that. Yeah, and on the right side there are a few examples of textures that I put there so that we can have a visual understanding of what I'm trying to say. These are examples of textures, and even there. I just remember another example now. Another example of texture can be seen in these ties that we have in our house, like the ones they fix for us. You can see a lot of different designs and different patterns on these ties. And now we have different types of textures. Different types of texture. This type of texture. Sorry, this is a typographical error. And we have number one, smooth, rough, and grainy. We have smooth, rough, and grainy textures. The first one here is smooth, as we can see. The second one here is rough. It looks like a rough surface. And the last one is grainy. The last one here is grainy. It's a grainy texture. So now, how is texture being applied in digital design? How is texture being applied in digital designs? Number one, we have green overlays and we also have paper backgrounds. For example, we let me go back to this design here, and let me. There's no way I can zoom in. There's no way I can zoom in. But if we look at this design properly, you can see. Let me see if I can zoom in. Can't zoom in. Oh, sorry. this design has an element of grain or noise on it, and it adds a visual depth to the design. It makes it look more realistic. That's one of the main purpose why we use grain in digital design, grain or texture, as the case may be. Now back to my point here. Texture enhances the visual depth of a design. I've said that before, making it appear more lifelike. It makes it appear more lifelike. And an example here on the right section is a sports jersey logo being imprinted on the jersey. I believe at one point or the other we've come across an example of a sports jersey like this with a logo on it, and even some of us that buy all these football club jersey like Man United, Man City, and Arsenal that is still struggling to win the league. Sorry to Arsenal fans, no vex. Now we have space. Uh, and space here in its simple terms is basically the area around elements or around an element. The areas around an element. So in this case, the space are the areas around the element here. The element here in this case is a square. So let's move to the next. And now we have something that we call white space in design. White space is also the same thing as negative space. So don't let us confuse ourselves. White space is also the same thing as negative space. And white space or negative space refers to the empty areas around design elements like text and images, enhancing layout structure and providing breathing room. So one of the main, let me start with the first purpose of white space. It is to enhance the layout structure, and secondly it is to provide breathing room for a design. Is to allow a design to breathe. In Yoruba it is ó máa jẹ́ kí design wa kó lè mí, kì í ṣe pé a máa fún design yẹn lọ́rùn pa. I don't know how to translate in Igbo, sorry. But the main purpose of a white space is to make the design breathe, like make it breathe. You can imagine, let's use a practical example. The design is just like a person now in a room. And imagine you are in a room now and you pack a lot of stuff inside that room. You pack a lot of clothes, everything, and you stuff it into that room with you. And there's not enough ventilation for you. You basically suffocate. So in this case, the main reason why we use white space is not to so as not to suffocate our design. I'm just using that as a literal example here. And now, crowded layouts. Crowded layouts can be difficult to read and comprehend, whereas clean layouts are easy to read and navigate. And there are two visual examples here to explain my point. I would like to have a few responses from us on why we think this is a clean layout and why we think this is a crowded layout. I would like to have a few responses. Hello? Yes, I can hear you, but your voice is a bit low. Yes, I can hear you now. I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay. So I was saying the space design is a clean design because there is so much white space
Okay.
that allow your eyes to focus on the image and the background and then the writings on it. And then for the second one, it is so crowded that you don't know what to look first, what to read first,
Yeah.
what is seeking for attention, and that. Yeah, that's my point of it.
All right. Thank you very much for that feedback. Like you said, like the first design makes it easy for us to focus on what is important. And in this case, some people might see the text first, but people that like food like me, I will see the the food first. So on the right side now, it's difficult for us to really figure out what is being communicated in the design. Is it like they want us to know they are selling car, or the 5,000, everything is just blur, like blur. So now back to our point, like the reason why we use white space is to make our design easy to read and navigate. And as designers, our goal is to make sure that our work reflects uh, professionalism, and when people see our work, it's easy for them to understand it. So that's one of the reasons why we are talking about white space now. And now we have something we call form. So what is form? Form, in this case, in design, it means like a 3D version of shape. And I would like to have a few responses again. What do we think this icon represents? What does this icon represent?
Success, pass.
All right, that's very, very correct. Thank you for that feedback. Yeah, it means success, and it's also means pass. Yeah, in terms of exams and all. Now, why do we have forms in design? Why do we have forms in design? One of the major reasons why we have form in design is to create depth. Is to create depth. To add a more realistic feeling, a more realistic approach to the design. It makes the design or what you are trying to communicate look more realistic. And we have examples of applications of form. Form can be applied through shadows, lighting, 3D objects, product mockups, and etc. These are just some of the examples that I highlighted here. This one is an example of a 3D object. This is also an example of a 3D object. And this one here is an example of a product mockup. Is an example of a product mockup. And now for this week, we have just one assignment. You have to find 2 designs online or real life and identify all 6 elements. And which element do you think is the strongest and which one is the weakest? And in regards to assignment, I would like to commend some of us that submitted our assignment for last week, and I will encourage others to also do the same so that we can all be on the same page. Now it's time for question and answer. So I'd like us to ask questions. If there's anything that is unclear, you can go all over it again and explain more. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't have any question. Yeah, I don't have any question. I've got everything that you said.
All
It was
right.
well explained.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for the feedback. Does anybody has any questions so we can iron it out? Yeah. Hello.
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 I have a question.
All right. Go on.
Hello, can you hear me? I have a question.
Yes, I can hear you. We can hear you.
All right. When you talk about the white space,
Okay.
when you talk about the white space, sorry, I'm at work.
Okay.
Does that mean that we cannot change the background to another color, or if it is also maybe we use a blue background, there must be a space for our design to be breathable or not to be crowded, or must it be a white space, a white background?
Okay. Thank you for that question. Let me go back to that slide again so that I can start with and explain with that. Okay. Like I say, like white space in this sense is not like it has to be white space. It's not like a literal translation or a literal definition. It basically means like a space around your design. So you are free to use any color that you think is best for your design. But the reason why we have white space or negative space is so that your design can breathe. Like this line on my screen now is an example of a white space. There is no space between the logo and the text and between the order now. So the reason why we have white space is so that your design can have enough room to breathe, so that people can easily see the design and pick out the important elements. So you don't necessarily need to use a white background because it's white space. No, white space is just like a term, and it's not compulsory you use white color. You can use any color that works for your design, but applying white space simply means that you should have enough room in the design so that it can breathe and easily be read by your target audience. Does that answer your question, ma'am?
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. I would like us to ask our questions, so please don't let us be shy. Somebody else has a question? Hello? Somebody else has a question, so okay. Does that mean we understand like today's training? And I want to ask my own question. Does that mean we understand today's training? Please let's unmute our mic and respond, please.
Yes, yes. If there are questions, I think we all get it.
Okay, then I'm going to ask my own question now. Let me start with Mr. Tafa Balogun. Are you still with us? Mr. Tafa Balogun, are you still with us?
Yes.
Okay, I want to start my question with you. So imagine I'm a non-designer person. I don't understand design, and I ask you a question. Please, what is white space? How would you explain it to me?
Hello?
Did you get my question? I was asking, like, imagine,
Yes.
imagine I'm asking you. I don't know anything about design, but I'm asking you now. What do you understand as white space? What is white space or negative space?
The white space will make the writers be audible
Okay,
to see. In case you want to read it.
okay,
And it makes the works fine,
all right,
like outline.
all right.
It builds out the color of the color.
All right, that's very correct. That shows that we are on the same page. Thank you for that feedback. Mr. Kofi Owusu, did I get your name correctly? Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes. Okay. I want to ask you a question based on color contrast. Are you with us? Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Yes, I want to ask you a question about.
My network was
Yes, it went off here too. I think MTN network has been somehow lately. I want to ask you a question based on color contrast. Can you hear me?
I'm listening.
All right.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So, what do you think is the single difference between, or what do you think is the difference between a good color contrast and a poor color contrast? In your own terms, you don't need to use just as you understand it. Just give us your perspective.
Oh, okay. So, I think a good color, from what you've learned today, a good color contrast is when you are able to see two different things, two different colors so well together.
Okay.
So let's say with the white and then the green, you can separately see the white color, and then also you can also see the green color very, very well. But when we come to the poor contrast, you can see that you can really see the green color, but the purple color you can't really see.
Okay.
So I think that's what helps us give a clear understanding of what a good color contrast is and a poor color contrast.
That is a very valid perspective, and thank you for the feedback. Thank you. So, I'm looking for people to call. All right. Mr. Toby Oyinloye, are you still with us? Are you still with us?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I want to ask you a simple question. Why do you think we use um textures in design? Why do you think we use textures in design? I want to show you the slide so you can understand the question properly. Why do you think we use textures in design? I'm showing you the answer. Let me show you the answer. Why do you think we use textures in design in your own, like the way you understand it?
Sorry, you said why do we use textures in our design?
Yes, textures.
Well, to me, I think so that the design doesn't look flat. So that's some.
I lost you at that point where you said to add some. Please, can you take that part again?
So it gives more depth to it.
Yes.
Makes it
Yes.
enhances our design.
Yes, that's very correct. Like you said, it enhances our design, and that is very correct. Thank you for the feedback. Mr. Abisola Oluwa, are you still with us?
Joined.
Oh, you just joined? Good afternoon. You just joined. Oh, all right. Okay. Let me call another person then.
I came in during questions.
Oh. Okay. The recording will be made available after the class so you can go over it again. Mr. Ingiri Abere, did I get your name correctly? Are you still with us? Hello, sir. I'm actually struggling to hear you.
I'm still with you.
Okay, sir. I want to ask you a simple question, sir. Why do you think we add forms to our design? Forms in this case, like why do we use, for example, 3D elements in design? Why do you use 3D elements in design? Like the first one I showed earlier. Let me go back to that slide. See, like, why do we use this, for example, this 3D exam shape in design? Why do we use it?
Okay, it gives shape to the design.
That's correct. Is that all, sir? Hello, sir.
Hello, sir.
Yes, I was asking if that's all, or you wanted to add more.
No, I think that's what I can.
Okay, that's a valid perspective. Like you said, it gives shape to the design. Adds more visual depth to the design and makes it more realistic and more relatable. And who have I not covered? Mr. Wiz, are you still with us?
Yes, sir, I'm with you.
Okay. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. Like I was expecting it.
No, it's not like WAEC now, and it's not that you don't have to panic.
Alright, sir. I
Okay,
don't panic.
don't panic. So let me look for, okay. I'm going to give you a simple question actually. What do you understand as space in a design? What do you understand as space in a design? Your own words, like your own perspective.
Okay, so just space. Okay. I won't. Okay. First of all, I did not come early to the class, but then I have something to say. So when it's has to do with space, in graphic design, first off, it is um what gives room for every visual element to breathe, because it is important that as graphic designers we are responsible for guiding the eyes of our viewers, and space is one of the things that helps in that aspect. It gives room for visual elements to breathe, and yes, and also brings unity, if I'm not mistaken, to your design. And you also spoke about white space and um,
Negative space.
I-
Let me repeat. Negative space. White space. Yes.
space, positive
No. White space or negative space. Yeah.
white. Yeah. So what you say, please? I did not hear you.
Like I said, white space or negative space. I was just trying to chip in what you like, buttress your point.
Okay. Okay, sir. So there are two types of space. There's a white space and there's a positive space. So the white space is where there's where there's nothing there at all. Like there's nothing placed there. While the positive space is where you have your what do they call it? Where you have your visual elements there. Just like this slide now. So you have where you have your texture. I mean, yeah, I'm done, sir.
Thank you very much for actually adding another depth to the class today. I really appreciate your perspective, especially with the positive space you mentioned. And let me quickly chip this in. Thank you. Positive space refers to the active subject, text, or image. Like you said, like positive space these are the positive space in the design, and the negative space are the areas around it. Thank you very much for adding that touch of brilliance to today's training. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. So, Mr. Yagami, are you still with us? Mr. Yagami. All right. Mr. Dennis Asamoah Amar, are you still with us? All right. Based on what we've done today, I actually appreciate our feedback, and it shows that we are all on the same page. And like the goal of this training is to actually make us to understand everything that is being said. And from our response, I believe that we are all on the same page. So today we will be bringing to this basics of design training to an end for today, and I will see us next week. I'll be dropping the okay.
I have a question. So
Okay.
sorry.
No problem, go on.
Okay, sir. Thank you. So sir, like, if for instance now
Okay.
you have been designing with a particular software for like a very long time,
Okay.
for like 3-4 years,
Okay.
and then you're now planning to switch to a different software. So let's say for the first 3-4 years, you have been designing with maybe CorelDRAW
Yeah.
or with your phone.
Yeah.
I am now trying to transition into Photoshop, Illustrator, like that.
Okay.
So how would you ensure you don't go back to those software, or you don't feel discouraged with the whole
Yeah.
transitioning, advanced method and stuff?
Yeah.
So that's my question.
Yeah, I understand your question. Can you give me more insight so I can better answer the question properly? Is it like you are using phone before, or you are using PC before? Like it's still within the PC ecosystem?
Okay, so yes, I've been using phone to make all my
Okay,
designs.
but now you want
now
to switch
transitioning into
to PC.
yes, transitioning into CorelDRAW, Photoshop, like becoming hard. Like I can't quickly access
Yeah.
pictures. I have to go back to my phone, back to the laptop. Those kind of things.
Yeah, I understand.
Because give up with the whole thing.
I understand where you are coming from. So let me just offer my own perspective, just like a suggestion. First, switching from mobile to PC, the learning curve will be a bit hard from the onset, but you will give yourself the grace to allow time to run its due course, like give it time. So, and I would suggest you start with one software first. Don't what would I use? Don't stress yourself with trying to understand all the software at once. You will just be frustrated. So let's say you're already designing with Canva on phone. You can start designing with Canva on PC so that you can have an understanding of how Canva works on the PC. And then you can also start with simple software that are easy to understand, like CorelDRAW. CorelDRAW is easy to grab. You just try to learn the ropes little by little, and over time you'll become a pro at it. Don't try to do CorelDRAW, Photoshop, Adobe Illustrator, Affinity, Blender, After Effects, Premiere Pro. Don't try to do everything at once. Don't try to do everything at once. Just start with one software first. That's what I would recommend. Does that answer your question, sir?
Yeah. So I think what I would try out is to start using my system.
Yes.
I mean, to start with Canva.
Yes.
So then I'll
I'll
transition into
I would recommend that like start with Canva on PC, and if you have any issues that are relating to the software, you can always chat me up.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sir. Does anybody else ask a question? Please, if you don't have question, please let me know so that okay, hello. Does anybody else ask a question?
I want to know whether the slides. Yeah. Hello.
Yes, hello. Is it beloved?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, Kofi.
Please try to like increase your volume a bit. I'm struggling to hear you.
Uh, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Hello. Can,
Yes, I can hear you now.
yeah, so I was asking whether the slides will be big for us. Yeah, not as in a video format. Let's say just the slide, maybe in a PDF or PowerPoint form.
Okay, you are asking if the slides will be made available.
Yes.
It's only for now we are only making the recordings available, but I will speak with Caesar Graphics and I will update you by next week training. But the video will be definitely be made available. The video recordings will be definitely made available.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
Yeah. Does anybody else ask another question? Okay. In the advent of no question, we'll be bringing today's training on basics of design to a close, and I would encourage us to please make ourselves available for the rest of today's training and next week's training as well. It's to our own benefit. And the assignment and the recording will be dropped after the end of this training so that we can go through it and review everything. Thank you very much for making a big thank you to everyone for making ourselves available for today's training. It's it's really a thing of joy when you make the preparation and at least people show up. It gives you the morale to like want to do better. Thank you very much for making yourself available. Thank you. I will see you by next week training. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, you're welcome.